Mars entered Gemini August 20th, 2022, way back then, and it went retrograde October 30th of 2022. Has been retrograde since then until it stations direct on January 12th, 2023, and will depart finally the sign of Gemini after almost 7 months in March, on March 25th of 2023. So this is the horoscope portion of my Mars retrograde and Mars in Gemini, Mars direct information for you. I did another video if you're interested in the general information. So these horoscopes are designed to be looked at from your rising sign primarily. And you can also look at your sun and your moon horoscopes if you would like to see which resonates most with you. So I use Western tropical astrology. I use whole sign houses in order to get this information for you. Most horoscopes are started with Aries for a good reason, but I like to do things a little differently. I'm going to start with the sign that's in the spotlight, so we're going to start with Gemini Rising. I will put all the timestamps down in the description below so you can skip around if you would prefer, if you would like, and I'll also put the sign up in the corner so you'll know which sign we're talking about. For Gemini Rising, Mars has been traveling through your first house. The first house is very personal. It is the house of your physical body, your health, your vitality, as well as your personality, how you appear to the world. It's like the startup operating system. So I always think of the first house. And with Mars in there, it's been battling with a part of your life and the way you communicate, the way you express, the way you show yourself to the world. And it's been fired up during these months. And during the retrograde period, there may have been some feelings of decreased energy, possibly some anger issues, maybe your mental agility, how quick you usually are, but maybe you've been holding back, or maybe you've been expressing yourself in a way that you may not be used to. So Mars going direct there can be a chance for you to really be ignited from the inside, to be really clear about who you are. Your energy will be returning full force with Mars in there. And this may feel like a new beginning or a pioneering energy with Mars in your first house, coming forward, driving forward, and knowing where to go from here. Cancer Rising. This has been in a sensitive area in your chart. You may have been experiencing some struggles with your inner world. It's in your 12th house, and possibly a feeling of being held back or confined. And Mars moving forward in your 12th house will bring a renewed courage to maybe some sort of areas where you've been struggling, fighting yourself, fighting your mind, and fighting words in your mind, fighting that voice in your mind. And this renewed courage can help you face the more personally challenging aspects. You may have more courage to dive deeper into those areas of your life that may have been frightening to you before, of a deeper understanding, facing those realizations that are deep inside of you. This may be feeling like it's a long time coming too, and a preparation for this rebirth of power and courage that will be coming through for you. For Leo Rising, this can be a renewal of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. This is coming in your 11th house and finding that right level of action and courage to move forward in that area of your life. Your groups and people who are mentally stimulating to you, that's your status quo. Like that's what you like with your groups of friends. People have to be interesting to be in your friend group. And those alliances and friends and social circles, you maybe have been contemplating which groups and friends and things that you do or dreams that need to be cut, because that's what Mars does, cut from your life. And during the Mars retrograde, you might have had a chance to get more clarity on who you can count on and who you need to let go as you move forward. For Virgo Rising, this has occurred in your 10th house, and this is your career, your profession, your social status. It's been up for a lot of rethinking, especially during the Mars retrograde period since October until January. So how do you communicate yourself best in your most effective way in order to get that responsibility out into the world, to get that respect that you need during this time, to fight for yourself in that area of your life? How do you act on your instincts? And where should you be placing your energy in the outer world to move forward with your mission in life? That's what the 10th house is. And it's a very important that your words are proper, the words are clear, the ideas are clear, the communication is clear. You may have also been contemplating your position of power or people in power positions over you and how to best act moving forward and your place in that external world. You might also now have the courage to move forward in a pioneering fashion to what you need in your dreams, your career, your mission in life. For Libra Rising, this has been hitting your ninth house, which is your philosophy in life and how you're going to deal with your philosophies in life moving forward. Your ideas in the realm of higher thinking, that's been the focus of this stay of Mars in Gemini. And Mars here has been watching carefully about how you may limit yourself through your ideas or through your communication or through your structures that you are involved with, like possibly religion or institutions of higher learning or any kind of group you associate yourself with philosophically. And you might have been watching carefully how these ideas have to be invigorated, have to be fired up, how they have to be kind of cut to the quick, clearing out the clutter of what you don't really need, and maybe shed or slash or cut away. Mars has been stalking how you perceive reality through your views, and going forward, you may need to be ready for some entirely new experiences within the wider world. Not only physically, maybe through travel, but also spiritually expanding your horizons and philosophically expanding what you think about the world. Scorpio Rising. Scorpio Rising, this has been a time of contemplating your reliance on others. This is an 8th house situation that you've been going through. How do you benefit from your shared resources from others? But aside from that general concept of dependency that you're thinking about, this may really have been a time of personal transformation in the way you want to be or not be connected or reliant on other people for your security, all types of security. The Mars retrograde also could have been like this feeling of being in a chrysalis, a cocoon, where your rational mind has been on overdrive, really thinking about how you may be dependent on others or on crutches like social media, or dependent on other things that you let your mind escape to. And something that you might have been outgrowing, breaking free of it because it's useless. You know, you might realize now this reliance or this fear of losing that thing, it's really useless. And Mars here in Gemini in the 8th house is cutting that away so you can be more reliant on yourself when you need to be. Yeah. Sagittarius Rising. This has been going through your 7th house of relationships. Mars has been moving through your relationship house. The 7th is both personal relationships, it's partnerships in business, and it's also partnerships in love, but it can also be open enemies. That's the flip side of, of that 7th house. So Mars going through this area of your life may have made you really think about what kind of relationships you're in, how you communicate within those relationships. Mars has been opposing your ascendant this whole entire time too. So it's a battle a little bit over relationships and what you need to do there and what you need to do for yourself, right? And to empower yourself. And you may have been thinking and rethinking if you need to move forward with a relationship or a business partnership or anything like that, or you need to cut ties in order to balance what you're here to personally do. So with Mars turning direct in this area of your life, there should be some clarity on how to move forward decisively with those relationships. Capricorn Rising. Capricorn, you may feel like you've been getting worked to the bone. This is coming through in your 6th house. That's a house of routines, it's a house of health, it's a house of a little bit of martyrdom, right? Where you have to sacrifice to get stuff done, daily life. And during this retrograde period, you might have been giving away more than you're taking, which is probably pretty normal for a Capricorn rising. You know, you give away a lot. You have multiple tasks that you have to accomplish. Gemini has a lot going on in the 6th house. But Mars here asks you why you've been creating this imbalance, if there's an imbalance, why you let it get this far. It may be time to do something for yourself, for your own health, to balance that out. And some serious cutting of the excess servitude or doing things that other people can do and not letting other people do the things because you want to control it, you know, because you want to do so many things. But it's excessive at times, and Mars is there to cut it out so you can make space to do the things that you need to do, but also to help yourself be healthy. The connection to the body is intense with Mars in this area of your life. And it may require you to sacrifice some of the other things that you do routinely or think you have to do. And you might need to make a new routine that's just for you, not for other people. An active routine, moving your body. You may be also thinking about if there's a purpose to some of these things you do. Maybe they're superfluous. Maybe there's too many things that you do daily in your life. And maybe you need to cut some of those things out to make space for a more healthy balance in your life. Okay. Aquarius Rising. Get the electricity. Aquarius Rising. Have you been separated from this joy in your life? Feeling like playful things in your life have just been kind of cut out for the last few weeks or the few months, really, during this retrograde period. So there might have been, with Mars in your 5th house, there might have been some challenges with some love affairs or dating. That might be some of the issues in the retrograde. Also about what you need to cut from your life that's not healthy for you, bringing you joy, like things that get out of control, such as indulging yourself in any way. This could be drinking or, even gambling. And with Mars moving through this area of your life, it represents the things we do for the joy of it. It represents children and the inner child. And you might be fired up with Mars going forward here. You might have really been thinking about personal creativity and have that project ready to go. This Mars direct energy is like a fire hose of action that you can go forward with to release some of those creative ideas. It's kind of like bottled up and like ready to pop forward. And you need to move forward courageously in these attempts to create joy in your life and to look back at what that inner child might have wanted to do. And this could be also a really good time for physical activity, sports and stuff like that for you in your life. For Pisces Rising, how are you doing? How are you doing? Mars spending 7 months in the 4th house, in your most internal, deep area of your psyche, of your home, of your family, of your ancestors, ascendants, inner world. It's likely been bringing up a lot of conflict about your connection to those things. A lot of familial conditioning and past behaviors. They might be getting an extended level of conditioning. Things that you do and you're not quite sure why you do it, but that's just how the family always did it. That might be getting cut out. You may have even had some actual challenges or changes in your physical home, in your physical living situation. Something happening in the actual home, like something breaking and needing to be fixed. Something possibly being taken away from you in the home situation. And you have to decide if you're willing to give that thing up or if you have to fight to keep it. Mars going direct in the 4th house for you, Pisces Rising, will bring the decisive action, that knowledge that you've been waiting to have. It's a change in energy. I feel like this is flipping the power in your favor into your hands to give you this courage and clarity to move forward with whatever you've been struggling with in this area of your life. Bring you the words that you need to have, the courage you need to have. And it seems like, especially Pisces Rising, there's been sort of like this bottled up, shaken up Coke can that's ready to pop there. But go forward with kindness and courage for your own self and your own power. All right, we're finally to you, Aries Rising. Was it hard to wait? Probably not, because you probably just skipped to the code in the bottom in the description. So for Aries Rising, this is relating to your communication style. How do you express your opinions? The community you live in, this is 3rd house stuff. So how are you interacting with communities, not only in your general area, but this goes for online communities too. Your siblings, also your neighbors, your extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins. The question to ask yourself is, am I generally too aggressive with my words, or am I not communicating my opinions or beliefs in the way that opens others to a new point of view? Likely, I feel like, Aries Rising, you probably have a very clear communicative style, especially with Gemini being in your 3rd house in general for communication. And it's important with Mars there to really think about how you can communicate yourself most clearly without being too aggressive with people, with your communication, or too quick. Sometimes it might be hard for people to follow you because you're very quick in your communication. So where can you be more conscious about your part in the environment, like communicating for your environment in your area, standing up for what's right online, stuff like that. Getting out of autopilot with some of your possibly reactive behaviors, or just cutting right to the quick. Taurus Rising, here we are, together at last. Likely this has been about your sense of security for Taurus Rising. Fired up Mars in your second house, your personal finances, the way you feel stable and strong in life. This can come through with your body as well, like wanting to have a lot of action and exercise and movement of your body, how you feel sensually, five senses, how you're feeling strong, how to feel satisfied within your home or your body, and what changes in your communication about your livelihood, about your attitude towards your values, towards your spending habits. Mars might have been cutting things down there, like after the new year, after the holidays. Okay, it's time to cut. We need to budget, right? This needs to be clarified for you. So what are you identifying yourself with externally? That's the point. That's important to think about, that you've been overly attached to. Mars is going to be helping you cut that away. You may have been contemplating your relationship to things, and this may be a time when you can detach or cut away some of the excess identification with your external status symbols. Minimalism might be something coming up for you. Just wanting to get the stuff out, not needing all the things around you, wanting to cut them away, cut them off, cut them out. Yeah, you may be wanting to remove things that no longer serve you. Yeah, in all areas. It could even be on your body, removing things like, things in your body that you want to become stronger. You want to remove any like flab, and just be muscly and strong. If you enjoyed this horoscope video, please let me know by illuminating the like button down below. And if you're interested in the big Mars energy, I did a video about that, all the archetypes, all the meanings of this transit, and you can watch it right over here. Remember, I like you just the way you are. I hope you've been empowered by this video, and I will talk to you next time.